Leo. Welcome. And welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. It's kind of interesting that we're doing Leo last. Probably not common to be last, huh? It doesn't mean anything. I actually was asking the cards, like this deck, which sign to do next. So anyway, I hope that August has treated you well. I hope, like, we came out of Leo season in the middle of August there, went into Virgo. But of course we're talking about September, which is crazy. Just crazy. Time is moving quick. The only self-plug that I have is that I am offering personal readings now, which is very exciting. Super pumped. So those are on my website, and the information for my website is listed below. The Knight of Pentacles. So it'll be growth on that will be slow. That's totally okay. It's funny that that came out at that time. Anyway, so yeah, there it is. I don't know why it's so like uncomfortable to self-promote, you know, I don't know, but we're going to get over it because we're stepping out of our comfort zone. What in the world is going on here? Yes, anyway, we are stepping out of our comfort zone. There's another one. Okay. All right. Let's shuffle with a little more intention here. We're looking for a message for Leo for September. Or within the next little while. I just heard in my head, like, not just September. Okay. Whenever this finds you. Oop. Bear with me here. There we go. There it is. All right, here we go. The Ten of Swords. What in the world? King of Wands. Nine of Swords. Come on, Leo. Page of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, and the Hermit. Interesting. We have the Hierophant at the bottom of the deck. Okay. This has this feeling. It has the essence of like a hard lesson was learned here, is how this feels. I mean, of course, we're going to work our way through each one of these cards, but we have like the heaviest swords cards on the table here. And we start with the Ten of Swords, and it's interesting that we end with the Hermit. So the Ten of Swords, you know, swords having to do with our thoughts, right? It's our mind, our perceptions. How do we perceive our realities? It's a lot about our ego also, because we generally hear our ego in our minds. And our ego is that filter that experiences go through in order to end up with a perception of something, if that makes sense. I don't know if you can like hear the thunder in the background, but my dog keeps thinking, I don't know if he thinks that like there's another dog barking or something, but I keep waiting for him to start barking. Anyway, I got distracted. It's interesting because in this card, it's kind of like the worst has already happened. Worst case scenario either happened or you're thinking about it, because they're being carried away by this bird here. There's all these swords sticking out of this character. But there's also, you know, this almost kind of feels protective. Like you might be trying to intuit or trying to think of all of the ways something is not going to work, or you're, like I said, you're thinking worst case scenario. And, you know, like these two cards, the 9 and the 10 here. It just feels like there's something that is like out of your control, and maybe that's the problem. I get it. I'm not a fan of something being out of my control either. It could have to do with work. Or just how you're spending your time, what you're doing to make money, how you're spending money. It could have to do with your physical body. You know, anytime pentacles show up, I'll mention the physical body. But the page is generally the apprentice. It's the energy of the apprentice. So, you know, learning something new, starting a new job, starting a college course, like starting to research something. It could even be starting a lifestyle change, right? Like, because when it has to do with our physical body. You could be even taking stock of everything here, because, you know, this character is holding up this pentacle, almost just kind of like inspecting it, right? That's kind of how it looks like to me. So you might just be really in a space of evaluating your life, or evaluating, you know, what you want to do next. This could even be, you know, something that you have started. If you've started a new job, if you've started a new business, if you've started a new, you know, kind of lifestyle type thing, you know, like that could be where this mental busyness is coming from. You know, there could just be a lot of worry. There could be a lot of concern. But also, let's not forget that the 10 of Swords is the end of it. So it's like all that stuff that you were thinking about, and maybe maybe the concern, I know, like, I'm still talking about these two cards, but it could even be that, you know, like this energy was because you were starting something new, starting a new business, looking to elevate yourself, because the King of Wands, I mean, that's fire energy, right? So it's definitely your energy. I believe that it's specifically a Sagittarius card. But the king is the highest expression of the suit. So it's communicating clearly. Wands having to do with action, communication. It's also information. Like, I see them as being the information cards too, whether you're receiving information or getting it or giving it. There's also, again, like this, the feeling in this card is that you're very much in control. It's kind of like, you know, the king is controlling the elements around here. There's, you know, flowers that are floating. I think these are supposed to be little fire pits. There's like a spiral or a swirl going around them too. That could be clouds. But, you know, just their posture, it feels like they are the ones that are controlling everything around them. And again, like maybe that is the energy that you have been trying to either get back to or be in. And the Queen of Swords here in this deck, it specifically talks about controlling your demons. You know, we have this goose. It looks like squawking over here, right? And then this queen has their mouth tied shut. It's like shutting down that mind chatter, and especially if it's self-sabotaging, limiting. Also, too, if it's telling you that you have to be in control, because sometimes you don't have to be in control, and sometimes you certainly aren't, as we see in the Ten of Swords here. But of course, you, in order to get to the king status, there is this clarity of mind needed. It's like, you know, your thoughts and your actions have to be in alignment. Like if this is what you're doing, but this is how you're thinking, it's not going to work. And it is going to end up as the Nine of Swords, which again, you know, it's like mental chatter. It's anxiety, losing sleep at night. It's literally, you know, like this goose is like in control here, just raining down havoc, right? Like this guy is like, I don't have any control in the matter here. I'm just kind of giving up. This kid is like, what the hell? Totally defenseless though, also, right? And then we have the Queen of Swords who, you know, comes in and closes the mouth of this goose or whatever it is. I don't know if it's a goose. It just looks like a goose to me, like a scary goose. Not a silly goose, a scary goose. And then the Hermit card. And the Hermit talks about going within, really getting clear on what you want to do. Let me just, because I feel like I liked the way it says relationships with others are essential, but before we can communicate with others, we must be able to communicate with ourselves. When your thoughts are consistently muddled or diluted, take some time to uncloud your vision by gently removing yourself from society. Search within yourself for answers, and you may be surprised by what you find. Don't worry about the sudden silence. It is merely expectant. waiting for you to speak. We have the Hierophant at the bottom of the deck too, and the Hierophant says, the Hierophant is like a constellation, imaginary lines drawn around the chaos of the cosmos that imbue the night sky with meaning. We take comfort knowing that our ancestors gazed up at the same stars, the same stories, but clinging too tightly to tradition can stave off the immutable law of nature's changeability. When you receive this card, examine whether the energy of the Hierophant is guiding or merely thwarting you. Very interesting. Because really, this whole thing could be because maybe you saw your life going in a certain direction. Maybe you saw yourself doing a specific thing, which, you know, like the Queen of Swords here again, like facing those demons. Maybe you saw yourself at a different place in your life by this point. And maybe that's kind of starting to, of course, like mentally F with you a little bit. But like I said, you know, I love that we start with the Ten of Swords here, and I love that we end with the Hermit, because it, like it said, it's literally quieting those thoughts. The stuff that plagues you, right? Like the stuff that just, all that mental chatter, the demons, right? Quieting that. Getting clear, like, you know, what do you want to do? How do you see your life? You know, the Hierophant typically talks about tradition, traditional institutions like college, university, traditional jobs, traditional type relationships. Does that work for you? Has it worked for you? The King of Swords. There's all these butterflies here. It's almost kind of like he's freeing. You know, butterflies talk about transformation. But also clarity of thought, like the Hermit was talking about, getting clear. This is a sort of truth also, so there's a bit of honesty that you need to bring to the situation. We have the Nine of Cups behind there, which is wish fulfillment. Being in a place of gratitude. The Two of Pentacles, there's balance. Yeah, I mean, it really kind of seems like you are, yeah, the King of Pentacles. It really seems like, you know, there's going into September. And maybe this has just been something that's been going on for a while and it's just kind of coming to a head at this point. But it's like evaluating everything. And that takes time. Here. And I am going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Just kidding. I actually did want to mention really quick. So we have the King of Pentacles at the top of the deck, mastering something here. It's so funny. Like, this almost feels like Leo a little bit. Being a bit showy, right? I mean, he's literally doing a headstand or a handstand on this bull's horns. You're kidding me? I love that. But, you know, I mean, the strawberries are, it's like, you know, like when you see in cartoons when somebody's held upside down and all of the stuff in their pockets comes out. But again, with the king, right? Highest expression of the suit. This is mastering something, and it's getting to a level, it could even be your career, right? Where you are an authority, you have pull, right? We have the Eight of Pentacles, which is like focusing your energy on something so that it becomes the King of Pentacles. Focusing on, you know, because she's watering these flowers here with the intention to harvest them. We have Haven, which is very similar to the Hermit card, but it talks about self-care. It talks about, you know, giving yourself space, time, compassion, empathy, but very similar to the Hermit card. The Two of Wands and then the Chariot. The Two of Wands is, you know, kind of deciding to go in a new direction. What is my passion here? What direction do I want to go in? Like, how do I want to approach this next phase? And the Chariot is going to take off. Oh, we have the Ace of Wands here. The Chariot is fast moving. It's going to move forward quickly. This is that spark. It's an idea. It's a passion. It's a desire, creativity. And then the Two of Wands is like, okay, what am I going to do with this now? The Queen of Wands. I mean, I could keep going. I'm not. But I did just want to, because after I stopped it, I was like, wait, I looked at those cards. I didn't talk about them. Felt like I needed to. So I'm officially leaving it there. I also, okay, I just want to say too that all of these things came from what would be basically like the top of the deck, right? So it's again like this Hermit card. It's almost like this feeling of looking where it's not obvious. Like the answer that you're seeking is somewhere that, you know, it's not in the obvious spot. It's not going to be found in doing things the way that you have previously done them. Okay, I'm done. Thank you. Bye.